Welcome back, everyone. Yes, it's another pre-show live stream. You get your chance to kick back, relax, and go over some of the news of the day before I go live over on the radio show. And I ain't alone. No. I have got the craziest, the wackiest, the funniest guy in Radioland right here with me. He's riding shotgun. It doesn't take a genius to work out. I have got Jimmy Jeans here with me. We've got Apollo 13 Woo on the way, 50 years on from their fateful mission. We've got lots of other news to go over as well. Most importantly, it's about hanging out together. We'll be with you in just a moment.
How dare you!
Yes, I see you laughing, Jimmy. I see you laughing. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm telling you right now, I'm doing fantastic today.
Fantassimo.
The sun is shining here, Northern California.
Doesn't it always shine in California, man?
Well, it's been a horrible, 3 weeks. The sun has been completely missing. It's been raining, awful, nasty, freezing cold. I've been out here shivering like a chihuahua on the back porch, and now sun's out, birds are singing, flowers are out in the garden are blooming. I mean, it's an exciting day here, and then I'm here with the Kev Baker himself.
Kev Baker, not Dave, but the Kev Baker. I like it.
That's right.
I like that. Yes, the Kev Baker. Yeah, I just addressed myself in the third person today, like any true narcissist really does. But folks, thank you so much for being back here today. Now, I don't know if she is in the chat room today. Possibly not. I want to give a big shout out to one of our listeners, Susie. She's phoned into the show before from Wales, talking about her experiences with the Woo. My word. In fact, we were going to do a full hour with Susie, and I hope we'll do a full hour with her again soon. But she suffered a real serious loss yesterday with everything going on in the world, with not one but two relatives, unfortunately, passing away. So from all of us here at KBS and my family as well, sending all our love to Susie and her family right now. And of course, Jimmy, Susie, she provided us great joy when one of her grandchildren was born during the time that we've been streaming on here, and for a short while that was our youngest Wookiee. And I tell you, dude, it's kind of heartbreaking, but gotta look out for your own, right?
Yeah, my heart goes out to you, Susie, and prayers, and I'm sure the listeners can all send some love to you, and so much loss, and I'm so sorry that this has affected you personally. And so it is great that there's a place that we can come and get together and sort of share what's going on with each other.
Big time, Jimmy. Big time. Yeah, a lot of people will be feeling that around the world right now. And on here, in our pre-show stream, we're not going to dwell on that too long. We're going to try and turn those frowns upside down. And I know Susie would be one of the first to tell us to get back into that woo there. And today we're going to be talking about Apollo 13. Jimmy, can you believe it? Apollo 13. 50 years on, my friend. Not from when it took off, but 50 years on from when it was meant to touch down on the moon. And, Apollo 13 for me, talk about programming. All I see is Tom Hanks, Kevin Baker, I think it's Jack Swigert. Was that not the astronaut he played, or Jack Swigert, something like that? Good movie, really good movie, Apollo 13, dude. But for me, I was watching an interview earlier on with Jim Lovell, the character that Tom Hanks actually played. And for me, it was kind of surreal I was thinking all along, you're not really Jim Lovell. Get Tom Hanks out here. You don't look like Jim. So yeah, but I've always been into NASA from a young kid, Jimmy. We used to watch some of the rockets taking off in school when it was the Challenger and the kind of shuttle missions, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We had the fateful kind of accident with the Challenger, I believe it was. Remember
Mm-hmm.
watching that. And yeah, man striving to get to the moon, dude. It's something that we've been trying to do for a number of decades now. It's a whole weird topic because we like our technology, right? And technology everywhere else has advanced so much. Yet, when you look at the Apollo missions, and then you look at how we carry some of the cargo into space today, things haven't changed that much,
No, they haven't really changed at all. I mean, for me, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up and I was a kid and I'd look up in the sky and see the moon, never once did I think to myself, you know, I think I'd like to go to the moon and just
Never think
go
that
up
as a
there.
kid, dude. Never think that as a wee guy. Must admit, I
No,
did. I must admit, I did.
did you? Did you? I
Yeah.
mean, did you like dream of being the dude in the, with like 10 billion tons of rocket fuel behind you, and you're just in this little capsule?
No, I just dreamed of being in space. Going up to the moon, whatever that involved. Being a child of that age, I didn't really compute the rocket fuel that I'd be sitting on and all the rest of the kind of physics and mechanics involved. But yeah, just that idea, exploring. And as mankind, I do think we should be as much as we can going and exploring. And I know there's a whole conversation you could have about whether beings can ever spend a long time away from their home planet. And I say that in general because I don't think we're the only beings and I don't think we're the only populated planet. But it's something to think about, I know when I have this conversation with Joe Joseph, he is very staunchly of the opinion that because we're born here, this gravity, the vibrations, the frequencies, the Schumann resonance, everything, our bodies, we're used to here, we're built for here, Jimmy, right? And I see where he's coming from. Could we then go and set up shop somewhere else that isn't quite like here? Would we have to terraform it into something very similar to this? All these things, man, this is what gets the imagination going. It truly does. And I know NASA, they've got their critics. Damn, I'm one of them. I criticize them often enough. But at the same time, when you think of space travel, it's hard to think of anyone else as opposed to NASA, right? It's almost synonymous with space travel.
Well, yeah. I mean, but the thing about it is I mean, when you're talking about a subject, you can pick a subject, the moon. People get triggered over this moon.
Yeah, big time.
Beyond imagination.
Beyond what it does on a full
People,
moon and turns us all into lunatics.
there you go. I mean, I know I've been a lunatic on many a full moon.
The moon just holds so much woo, dude. So much woo. And you must have, imagine the ancients as well. Before they attained all the knowledge of the night sky and everything else, that big, shiny disc, that thing hanging there in the night sky, the cycle it goes through, the waxing, the waning. I don't know, dude. There's something very mystical about it.
Well, I mean, we just had that pink moon, and I saw some photographic evidence that I couldn't verify, but I saw some footage of a blood red moon rising over Italy at midnight the other day when it was supposed to be a pink moon, and so there was no reason for there to be this sort of red blood moon over Italy or whatever. So they were saying it was a sign. So the moon has been giving off signs forever, right? So we know that the full moon is when the moon starts to wane. You should try to do all your activity on the way to the full moon, so that when the moon starts to wane, because the energy builds as the moon gets full, and then energy wanes away as it goes away. So you try to do all your projects.
Jimmy, you need to have some like dream catchers and things behind you when you go like into this mode. It's like I'm trying to think of a cool kind of cosmic name for you, man. Jimmy Lunar Dreamcatcher or something. I don't know.
I have this hat over here.
Why does it not surprise me that you have a hat for the occasion?
it's literally a psychedelic UFO hat.
You
but
see,
it's more.
You should definitely have had that on for today. I think that would have fit with the Apollo 13 topic. I really do, man.
Me too. Hold on a second here.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the story that I had here about Apollo 13. And like I say, you know, very much most people will be aware of the story, probably more so from the Hollywood movie than anything else. I know that's certainly the case for me. But it says here, life aboard NASA's ill-fated Apollo 13. Jimmy, do you think it was all to do with the number? Do you think it was all in that unlucky for some number 13, that everything went wrong with this? Like, anything that could go wrong, it pretty much did, right?
I know. Yeah, because isn't the 13 has to do with the Templars, and everybody says
Friday the 13th, right? And you also see how NASA are very symbolic. They very much time things to an astral calendar. You could say, you know, very Masonic in nature. Very, very, very.
Right. So it would seem kind of strange. I mean, simply because, I mean, have you been in a lot of high-rise buildings? Have you ever seen?
I've lived in one, dude. Yeah, I've lived in one, man. Don't get me wrong, I was only 7 up. This one went 24 up. Yeah, but
was there a floor 13?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, there was. In hotels, I know in hotels you don't get them because of the unlucky value and things like that. But no, there was definitely a 13 on this one. Yeah.
Did you ever get out on the 13th floor, man?
I was actually thinking about that there when you said it. No, I'd never had any occasion to get out there. No reason to visit the 13th, no.
Let me tell you something. Some people got off on the wrong floor, on the 13th floor. And
never seen again. Like Skinwalker Ranch, man. Talking to Skinwalker Ranch, I uploaded a segment from last night's show with Ben Emlyn Jones on the Kev Baker Show 2 channel. Be sure to go over and check that out. But it says here, life aboard NASA's ill-fated Apollo 13 mission has been revealed in unprecedented detail thanks to a series of enhanced images originally taken 50 years ago. Now, the spacecraft was supposed to become NASA's third to land on the moon in 1970 before an explosion jeopardized the lives of the 3 astronauts on board and forced them to make a dramatic journey home. Now, 50 years on from the mission, imaging specialist Andy Saunders has managed to produce the clearest pictures yet from the craft, using low-quality 16mm film shot by the crew. Mr. Sanders used a technique called stacking to bring together multiple frames on top of each other to improve the details of the images. You know, you can actually do that stacking thing on Photoshop. I've seen it working. If you just like copy a layer, Jimmy, and just put it right over the top of the layer you've copied, it instantly it brightens and enhances everything. It's really weird. So we can take a look at some of the pictures here. But this is the one where like the jet tank, the fuel tank kind of exploded. They heard a big explosion one night. And then obviously, you know, that scuppered their mission to go to the moon, never made it to the moon. And the fact that they even got home at all, I suppose, arguably, very lucky indeed. But I know there'll be people out there, and I'm not criticizing anyone for having an opinion. There may be people out there, Jimmy, who think none of this happened at all.
I'm sure there's a whole stadium full of those people. They're probably right now. They're probably sitting somewhere sharpening their axe.
They're gonna come after me, dude. They're gonna come after me. So yeah, these are the the alleged pictures. I don't know, dude. I mean, we were talking about going to the moon there, right? I mean, oh, dude. I mean, look how small and how cramped everything is in there. And like you say, strapped onto like the most sophisticated firework ever invented by man. Literally firing yourself into space in like a sardine can. Nah, I think I'll wait. If I may, Jimmy, I would prefer to wait until we've got like the Enterprise, and it's like cool starships and that kind of thing going on, right?
Right. Just keep everything nice and neat and clean.
Inertia balancers. There's no worrying about getting splattered into the back wall when you hit warp speed. There's you've got it all going on at that point. We've probably been mining the moon for 50 years. We've built the Death Star on the back of it.
Your hair doesn't get messed up when you're going up there. You just appear. Everything, you just all pop your collar.
You've got the astronaut look. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, see, I'm wearing my astronaut gear right now.
So, given the chance, why NASA would come to you and say, Jimmy, we're going to give you the chance is beyond me. But if we suspend reality for a moment and we step in, not even to the island of speculation, Jimmy, this is like the mythical land that's set, it's all covered in mist, and it's called, I don't even know. It might be like
the land of suspended animation.
Island of hypotheses. Right, so you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't like strap yourself in. You wouldn't go. What if Musk came along, man? Says, Jimmy, you've got the astronaut look that we're looking for. We want you to be the face of SpaceX. We're gonna put you up there, man. You're gonna be the first man on Mars. Not for you. Not got a hat for that occasion.
Well, let me tell you something. I am a man
you
of many
deeply
hats.
thought about that there. You are the cogs turning, man.
They were turning. I was thinking to myself, I was wondering if I could borrow one of those little jump rooms that they have, and where I could just jump into the jump room, head on up to Mars, and hang out while Barack Obama is.
Why did he have to be there, dude? Why did you spoil it with that? Everything was
because
cool.
he's always up. He spins records up
I
there.
I know he was seen up there at one point. I know.
He's spinning records, man. Every night I go up there, he's there.
Can you imagine being these astronauts, though, right? And granted, one of them lucky because he got drafted in from the backup team. That must be horrible. Knowing you're the substitute, you've taken somebody else's place. But you're up there anyway. And Jimmy, I mean, this is like the culmination of your life's work, right? I mean, becoming a pilot, I'm sure you have some ambition maybe to go one step further and maybe become an astronaut. The years that they put in training for this and things like that. And then here you are. There you go. 2 missions before you, everything dandy. Up to the moon, Roger, all the rest of it. And then it's your turn. Boom. The lift off, blast off, everything cool. Separations. You're out there. You've got 2 days to go till you get to your rendezvous with the moon. And then, and then not even knowing if you're going to get back and try to find the workaround. And bang, dude. Bang.
Well, I mean, I honestly, it is literally beyond comprehension, because I literally recently I just watched a video of a guy who sailed from San Francisco to Hawaii in a 24-foot sailboat by himself, and at what he went through every single day, like in a 24-hour period, like in the middle of the night when it's pitch black and he's just in this little boat bouncing around, and hearing all these noises. He doesn't even know what it is, and I mean, he's just, and then 21 days later, he's sitting on Hawaii. I mean, can you imagine
No.
you'd be sitting in space, just sitting there, hey, Bob, what is that? I don't know. It looks funny. What was those big eyes looking in the window?
You gotta be of the right mindset, eh? I mean, they must be as psychologically tested and evaluated as they are physically. Because like you say, that's got to have an effect on you, right? I mean, big time, dude. Again, that calls into the question, how long can you really spend out there? Can we thrive off planet? Do we have to engineer a species to do that? Is that where maybe the greys come from? We're talking here about the fact that we're confined to our home planets. Maybe let's say let's go to the land of speculation. Then we're on the beach. We've got our feet up. Okay, so this is home. Well, how do we do this then? Well, one way we could send AI and mechanical robots, but we've also got the technology now, Jimmy, to really bioengineer an astronaut, something that is designed to live for long times, exposed to, high levels of radiation, can live huge lifespans, longer than a human, because of the times it's going to take in space. Maybe that's why the Greys come here. Maybe they are some kind of traveler, biological probe. Well, where did that come from? Dang, dude.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if we're going that far, why don't we just biologically create ourselves some pygmies that can, do our housework for ourselves? We can just buy them down at the local.
See, now you just made it silly. See, now you just made it silly. Obviously, we won't get our own little bio-growing little pygmies. That's just for like space travel and people with lots of money, Jimmy. We'll not get one we can have at home, like a Tamagotchi or something, like a little Tamagotchi.
It's funny though. I mean, once that cat gets out of the bag, like once it's okay, once it's been.
Does it get out the bag or does it get out of Schrodinger's box?
Exactly. Once the cat gets out of Schrodinger's box.
Once one of those cats get out.
When the cat gets out of Schrodinger's box, the secret word of the day is shenanigans, my friend.
Shenanigans?
That's right.
So at some point tonight on the Kev Baker radio show, I have to work in the word shenanigans. Dude, that's easy. That's so easy.
Is that too easy?
Not too easy.
Maybe the chat room could give you some hints. Maybe they'll give you a secret word of the day for today. Yeah. But I think shenanigans, whenever you let Schrodinger's cat out of the box, I think shenanigans are the next thing to follow.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a cat. Maybe it will. But before we move on to some funnier stuff that we found and keeping it light and, in the spirit of the pre-show chill stream where we just chillax and get ready for the main show ahead. NASA 50 years on now, Jimmy. Quick answer. Are they going to be able to send people to the moon ever again?
I would have to say no.
You think not? I think somebody else will beat them first.
I honestly don't think there's any reason to send people because you got to make too many engineering considerations to send human beings. Well, you can just send robots to do the same thing. As long as, of course, you put up those towers with 5G up on the moon. You get them 5G towers going.
Yep. Anyway, moving on, dude. Moving on, because I've got more stories here. Here's one I found. Now, this is from back up my way. This gets us into the woo. This gets us into a bit of strangeness. But we all know I went to Crowley's house, right? I think there's nobody out there that watches this show that doesn't know that. I think I've flogged that horse to death. But there's a new story come out about Crowley's house. And I found it the other day on my second favourite woo site, which is the Unexplained Mysteries. Yes, Aleister Crowley's house even. Discoveries are teased. Now, remember I've been telling you all how there's a conservation group, a restoration effort being made to bring back Boleskine House to all of its glory, make it like some kind of tourist attraction, to the point where they were even talking about teaching local children the teachings of Aleister Crowley, Thelema. Well, as you can see in this image here, and this is what it looked like when I got there as well, the place got razed to the ground in not one but two fires, all right? How that happened, it's up for debate. But anyway, they've cleared all of this crap that you see out now. All of that's been cleared out. They were inviting volunteers to go up and help, and this is part of the project to, like I say, bringing back the house to its full glory. And that was the oratory. Now, just to the left of that image, if you turn to the left, you'd be in a corridor, and you walk down the corridor, you come to a doorway, and all of a sudden there was none of this burnt kind of debris, no damage at all. And you come to find that's where Crowley done the magic working. But as I say, or like I say, the people that have been cleaning it out, they found some weirdness, Jimmy. They found things that weren't burnt in the fire, and they say they're going to be telling the world soon. It says restoration work at the fire-ravaged Loch Ness home of the infamous occultist have recently began in earnest. And situated near Foyers at the southeast side of Loch Ness, Scotland, Boleskine House was built in the 18th century in an area with a long history of peculiar happenings. Aleister Crowley, a man who was once regarded as the wickedest man in the world, I think he kind of gave himself that title, just saying, lived at the house between 1899 and 1933 and was said to have used it to conduct black magic rituals. Auga booga. So the building was, which was badly damaged by 2 fires, was recently purchased by a group of investors who set up the Boleskine House Foundation in the hope of restoring it to its former glory. And there it is there. That's what they've got that same room looking like now. And it says on that post, the clearance of the famous oratory room is now complete. Look at the difference. Keep watching our social media platforms this week as we announce some of the discoveries found in the rubble. Now, this just gets the imagination going wild, right? I mean, what kind of things might you find lying around, Jimmy, in Aleister Crowley's old gaff?
I don't know. It's got my imagination going. I'll tell you that. That's immediately what I was thinking about, is all the stuff that you might be able to find if you're up there trying to help out clean that place out.
You got to remember, I mean, this guy was very affluent. He was moving around in the kind of circles that gave him access to manuscripts, very ancient manuscripts that came from the Rosicrucians, I believe. And there's some argument over whether he got full access to those documents because it contained some of the workings that he was trying to undertake, and whether he just got shown some, or whether this was why he got called away in the middle of it all to go back to France on what they said was Golden Dawn duty. Very interesting stuff. I'll be certainly bringing this story up to date the minute that we see what's there. I'm thinking, Jimmy, how about some kind of Ouija board that's like carved in stone or something, you know?
Yeah. And it could be, you know, there's a lot of legends about when you go to Hawaii, if you take sand off this particular beach, if you bring it home. So people used to take the sand and put it in little bottles. You take it and bring it home, something bad happens to you. I wouldn't be surprised if you picked up some items over there, like some guys over there sweeping in the corner, you know?
Dude, there's a place like that not a million miles from there. Now, see where Boleskine House is?
Mm-hmm.
Close to there is Clava Cairns. Now, that's the stone circles I went to when I was home one of the last times. If I bring this up here, I can show you the images. But Clava Cairns, right? It's that one there. It's the one where you can blatantly, you see all the rocks around a big circle. It's a calendar site. They say it's a burial site. It's famous in the show Outlander. But Jimmy, like you said there's people that have been up to Clava and they've removed some of the stones that you've seen there. Like, you know, something from that they've taken stones away from that as a memento. Only for, at some point later, the stones to get sent back to the Scottish Tourist Board because of the bad luck that the people have had since they took them. Now, there was a story, I think it was from Holland, and one person, you can say it's just coincidence, You can say it's totally tied to the stones. I don't know, but the story goes that when she took this thing home, it was one thing after another, dude. It was just episode after episode of bad juju. Sent it right back, and that's when the Scottish Tourist Board had said this isn't the first time. We've had many people sending stones back because of they say they're cursed.
You know, I swear I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you know, I had a personal experience with some cursed stones when I was in my 20s. These guys that
A good
these
name for a
guys that
rock
were,
band, right? Cursed Stones.
yeah, they had to do with the rock band because these guys, we were taking promotional pictures for a band I was in, and a bunch of these dudes that were, you know, hung around the band or whatever. We were in this graveyard. It was like an old graveyard from the 1800s, and these guys that I was with, not the guys that I was with, but the guys that were there, they grabbed some old headstones and brought them back to the house that we lived in, which was a couple blocks away. And after that, there was a bunch of negative activity going on in the house until I made the dudes go, you know, take that stuff and put it back. But it was like a couple days was going on. The power was out. You know, it was a massive storm in the Bay Area at the time. It was like 1985 or something. It was the biggest rainstorm ever. The power went out. These guys had brought these stones back. We didn't have electricity. We were burning logs in the fireplace, man. And it was a scary time, man.
Weird though, eh? That's pretty strange, man. And I tell you what, if any stones are going to bring you bad luck, it's going to be like gravestones, right?
Yeah, especially when they're in the shape of a cross and the guy takes and puts them upside down in the living room.
Yeah, that's definitely not good juju, man.
No, man, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. So I tell you what, you know, Bleskin House Crowley took it over at the end of the 1800s, 1899, I believe, to be exact. And here we are, over 121 years later, and it's about to start a new chapter, a new cycle of woo. And when you look at that entire area from Clava Cairns to Bleskin House to everything that goes on beneath the surface of Loch Ness, I tell you, you'd be struggling to really find somewhere else on the face of this earth that is so absolutely charged with the woo. There's convergence of ley lines, so I'm told. How you measure ley lines, I don't know. I've seen the ones that the Templars, they built their Gothic cathedrals on and things like that, but whatever does it up there, and bear in mind, the monster was talked about long before Crowley got there. I just think whatever he done, he really almost like if you think of it like a door being almost ajar, Jimmy, right? It's like a charged area anyway because of the ley lines. You've got a potential cryptid that comes and goes in the water and things. If you get somebody that's got a knowledge of magic into that type of location, you take that door that's ajar and you absolutely blow it off the hinges. And then you don't close it because he never did finish the working. He just left it, you know?
It's like if you're messing around with a Ouija board and you don't say bye at the end, then everything just stays with you from there. You have to say bye and
Well,
chop
like
it
our
up.
good man, First Paranormal, it's like a Mandela effect in action, folks. I woke up this morning and my friend Jason was called First World Problems. But now, right now, in this same timeline, because I haven't gone anywhere, we haven't swapped dimensions, not that I know of. Well, First World Problems doesn't even exist anymore. It's like the stuff of Mandela mysteries. He is now First Paranormal. And I like that. I like that. There's almost some kind of intent in that, Jimmy. Because I've always said that Jason, his channel, it needs to get elevated. He needs to get recognized. He needs to be taking his place amongst the bigger names of paranormal researchers. And with that first paranormal, I think that there, it almost supercharges the whole thing going on to the point that it will attract such attention. Indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah.
First world problems.
No, he's not called First World Problems. He's First Paranormal now. That's what I'm saying.
Ah, well, see, I was spun out.
See?
See, so now you clarified it for me now too.
Exactly.
Good, because he deserves to be recognized for sure.
2 seconds, Jimmy. Anne is
Yeah,
trying
no
to
problem.
do sign language to me. Entertain the masses for a moment, Jimmy, will you? I've no idea
Yeah,
what
so
I'm going
don't
to holler back.
forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up here in another, I don't know, 45 minutes or so, Kev Baker will be launching his quantum connection over to to Truth Frequency Radio Network to go on over there and create some radio waves through the ether space on the quantum level. So step on over beyond the veil over there. I can't go over there, so I hope you guys have a good time over there. I'm not allowed in the chat room, so. But I'll be over here in the chat room. I'll just sit over here on Kev's channel and wait for a show to come, and then I'll just be here ready to chat.
I'm back. I tell you, man, you know, it all happens at once. You wait all day, you do a stream, and then everyone wants you at the same time, you know. I'm not back yet.
You are the Kev Baker, though. You are the Kev Baker. You're not just a person. You're a...
Oh, shut up. We've got time for one more story. I'm not just a person. I'm barely a person, dude. Anyway, time for one more story,
you
right?
are the Kev Baker.
And we've been talking about space. We got a bit of space woo in Apollo 13. But I've often said when it comes to space, yep, very unexplored, as are our own oceans, Jimmy. You know, that there, some of the things you could find in the ocean, mind-boggling. The things they already have found.
See what? I was just gonna say, while you were sitting there as a kid looking up at the moon, thinking about going to the moon. When I was a kid, I was thinking about going into the ocean and into the with the ocean and trying to.
Well, wait till you check this out, Jimmy. Right? Wait till you check this out, because they've just discovered the largest animal ever. The largest animal ever, and it's in Australia. G'day, mate. Yes, indeedy. Check this out, folks. Wait till you cop a load of this thing. Check this out. Look at that bad boy there. Now, the picture's one thing. They've got a little image down here. Check this out. Look at that. That is one big beastie.
Damn.
That's pretty crazy, Jimmy, right? It looks like ISO bars on a weather map, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like the pressure kind of thing on so we're going to read about it. It says here, underwater explorers found a 150-foot long siphonophore. There you go, a siphonophore. A translucent, stringy creature like coral is made up of small critters, like a submarine canyon. Living in a submarine canyon, like a submarine. Living in a submarine canyon off the coast of Australia. It's seemingly the largest animal ever discovered. Every individual siphonophore is made up of little zooids, which each live which each lives that are more similar to animals that we're used to talking about, albeit always connected to the larger colony. So this is something, Jimmy, that's made up of like individual little critters. It says zooids are normally born asexually, and each one performs a function for the siphonophore's larger body, according to the research article published in the journal Developmental Dynamics in 2005. Now, linked together in long chains, the colonies were already known to reach lengths of up to 130 feet, according to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, with each siphonophore is only about as thick as a broomstick. So the new record-setting siphonophore was one of several discoveries made by a team aboard the research vessel Falker, which, while exploring the deep-sea canyons near Australia's Ningaloo coast. Pretty cool, huh?
That is cool.
That's pretty weird, right? You think of some of the
Mhm.
things that are probably in there that we've never even discovered. Nobody's ever seen them.
I know. I like when those weird fish wash up on the beach that nobody's ever seen before. It's like prehistoric looking giant heads on them. Big choppers, big old teeth hanging out.
You mean nothing like this?
No, nothing like that.
Yeah. No thoughts on
But
this
that
then,
is
Jimmy. Too
interesting.
much to ask for a thought on this. No thoughts
Well, no,
on
I
this.
mean this here. I mean this is cool. 150 feet long is a 15-story building. Just to put it in perspective.
It's a big beastie. You
Yeah,
don't want
so
that
it's
getting
like,
wrapped around you when you go for a swim.
you definitely don't want that to find any open orifices on you while you're swimming either. Probably.
No,
Make
probably
sure
not. Probably not. Although I
you just want to
reckon
make
you
sure
would
you got
probably
Trump.
see that thing sneaking into you at some point, unless it went real quick. You know?
No, I think once it gets its nose under the tent, you better watch out.
Dang, dude. So what have you got planned for the rest of the day, Jimmy? What you got planned, man? Any radio today? Any streaming?
No, not today. Today's all about the garden. Like I said, the sun is out, and I'm going to take advantage of it because, I can't always be sure that tomorrow will come, right? So I have to take advantage of the day, and that's why I'm here now with you, because where else would I rather be, Kev, than right here, right now with you, the Kev Baker,
I'm
the quantum
sure there's
mechanic.
a billion places you could rather be, and I wouldn't take it, a bad way at all. I'm sure we would all right now rather be able to go about our business like we used to. Remember those good old days when we could go here, there, and everywhere? So, Jimmy, trust me, dude, I take no offense at all if you could think of any place you would rather be right now than stuck online with yours truly. I get it, dude. It's okay. All good.
Well, I like to make the best of my situation, and let me tell you something. In the current situation, there isn't any place I'd rather be than right here with the quantum.
Of course, yes. And I'll
You
be
are the
on
quantum initiator.
the quantum initiator. Don't know. Talking of quantum, though, on Thursday there's going to be quite a big show taking place, not just on this channel. Number of months ago, I teamed up with somebody called Chris Anatra. Now, Chris Anatra, for anyone who doesn't know, he's no relation of Frank Sinatra. No, it's Chris Anatra. But he is somebody that really caused a few ripples, went a little bit viral when he first came online, because he's the CEO of a company that deals with deliveries, orders, logistics, that kind of thing. And he and his clients had been noticing that something weird was happening. Orders that had been standing orders for years were all of a sudden turning up wrong. And when they were going in and checking the records, they were realizing that it had always been that way, despite the fact that they could see that it wasn't always that way. And it was a CEO telling you that his company was having to find a workaround to the Mandela effect, right? So since then, he started his own YouTube channel, The Quantum Businessman. And on Thursday, I believe this is going to be happening on Thursday, but Chris has been doing an absolutely fantastic series of shows on the holographic universe and on Mandela effects. Now, he puts together really good presentations and videos, the next one of which is going to be released on Thursday. Now, we're going to hook up, myself and Chris, on this channel right here at 9:30 in the UK, 4:30 on the East Coast, 1:30 on the West Coast. And we are going to be talking for half an hour about what Chris has been up to, the series of videos he's doing, all in preparation for his latest episode premiering the minute we stop talking. We'll jump on over to the Quantum Businessman channel here, which I'm about to share in the actual chat room right now. We'll watch the episode, and then when the episode finishes, we ain't done there, because Chris is going to come back on to the YouTube channel here, and we're going to discuss what we have seen. So far, it's penciled in for Thursday. The two of us touched base yesterday. It's looking good for Thursday this week, but it's still to be finalised. So if it's not Thursday, don't panic. It's not going to be far away. But Jimmy, I'm really looking forward to that. I don't really collaborate too much with other YouTubers or YouTube channels, but Chris is somebody that's doing a lot of scientific kind of stuff around this Mandela effect, you know?
I'm stoked. I can't wait to I can't wait to hear what's going on. It'll be fun, and everybody can tune in over here. Plus, are you going to be doing? I think you had did you have something else you were going to announce too?
Nope.
Tonight?
Nope.
No. I thought there was something else. You had something else that was going to happen that might be. Well, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because I know Kev Baker. He's going to let you know about some secret activity in the near future.
Nothing secret. Nothing secret. We might start streaming on the backup channel. But I don't see nothing secret about that.
The secret word is backup channel.
Well, no, I won't be sneaking that one in tonight. I think we're sticking with shenanigans. But yeah, we may get some. I may do some work on the backup channel. I don't know. It's still good. We're not on the naughty step on the backup channel, but just watch this space for that one. And I will be live on tfrlive.com in half an hour. I'll also be on the TFR Live YouTube channel if you want to tune in there. I'm going to be talking about some of the topical news of the day on tonight's show. I'll also be opening up the phones so that you can have your say on KBS. We do love some phone activity. I will, in the next half hour, also dig up some woo that we can get into. Maybe a wee ghost story, a little paranormal here or there. And I invite you all to join me over there for that. tfrlive.com/chat. And you can also be in the chat room at TFR Live YouTube channel. Just search for TFR Live. Not hard, and you'll find it in there. I'm sure some of the guys, I see Jason First Paranormal. See, I'm getting used to your new name, brother. He's usually over there, so if he could drop a link in the chat room, that would be absolutely fabulous. Now then, I know we're waiting to get our memberships back on this channel, and we still have to wait a fortnight until we can reapply for that. So all that's on hold right now. I miss all the names in green. I do. And maybe that might be one reason why we could flip switches and do some stuff over on the backup channel. Because got an email in the middle of the night to tell me that, we can't have members on the backup channel. So I don't know. I'm still to think about that. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge. I like working here on the big channel. It's where I'm at. It's where we're used to, But I have uploaded some stuff to the backup channel. I will be doing gaming on there as well. We've still got Doom to get into. We thought of a good idea today, and I don't know if Jimmy's waving to me or he's waving to people in the chat room. I've no idea.
No, I'm waving at you. I'm waving at everybody.
They say, yeah. You were going to add some commentary over the top of Doom, weren't you, Jimmy?
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking forward to coming over to the underground.
It's like most YouTubers would actually kill for what I've got, because it's almost like a brand new channel with like nearly 4,000 subscribers on there. Hardly done any work to it. It's just been there for for, you know, the occasion when things go wrong on the main channel. But, you know,
Mm-hmm.
sitting looking at it today, sitting stroking the beard, thinking, I see great potential in you, young one. I see great potential. So yes, watch this
The
space.
potential is unlimited.
It surely
Unlimited.
is. Jason's just dropped a link in there. See, I'm so crap at being a YouTuber. Any other YouTuber would have had the link ready to go after that big build up. Not me. Nah. No use at all that, dude. Not use at all that.
Well, it's Taco Tuesday today, isn't it? I think I'm gonna head down to the taco stand after the show and see if I
Sounds
can get
good,
us some
man. Sounds
tacos.
good. Well, with that in mind, it's definitely time to wrap up. So, folks, I'm going to be back in half an hour for the main show, and I will be back tomorrow, of course, with a pre-show stream. So until then, folks, you keep it real. Please, I urge you all come and join me over on the main show from 10 p.m. in the UK, 5 p.m. on the East Coast, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. Jimmy, you got the last word.
I'm going to be listening on my cell phone, and you can do the same. If you're out and about, cell phones always work. Kev Baker Show, 2 o'clock p.m. Pacific. I'm going to be out in the sun listening, and who knows, maybe I'll even call in. If you open the lines, I'll give you a report of what I'm seeing, man, on boots on the ground.
There you go. There you go, folks. Until then, keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo.